Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. We'll have a bit of a chat about what's going on here in Spain currently while we go for a drive. I'm on my way to the supermarket today, Tuesday. It's the day that I like to get a few things done, my errands day, let's say. So on the way to the supermarket, we'll have a bit of a chat. I'm also going to try and get some petrol because petrol could be in short supply over the next few days, so better to get it now than wait until the end of the week, in my opinion. So we'll go and check out what the petrol stations are like also, and in the supermarket we'll see if the transport strike is affecting supplies. So let's go. Venga, vámonos. Now a bit of an overcast today, as you can see, light rain falling, just a few sprinkles on the windscreen at the moment, so I'll get rid of those. And the weather expected to be bad for the whole week. But as we know, we need the rain. And the rain has been falling heavily in some of those Mediterranean areas. For example, in the area of Castellón, I think, down there in the Valencian community, very heavy rain. And other places on the Mediterranean coast getting those heavy downpours, which are typical at this time of the year. We have been complaining that there hasn't been a lot of rain over the last few months, but when it rains, as they say, it pours here in Spain. Now the transport strike causing problems still. I think we're in day number 8 or day number 9 of this transport strike. Remember that the government doesn't really want to recognize that there's a strike going on because it's not union-based. The two main unions in this country are not supporting this strike. So apparently transport workers have gone rogue and causing chaos around the country. And as I said, some sectors are threatening to stop production or have already stopped production. A big company today, Danone, the yogurt maker, has said that they will stop production if the situation doesn't improve. And I think various milk producers around the country have also stopped producing. So empty shelves could become common over the next few days when it comes to products like milk. So we'll check that out today and see what's going on. A couple of supermarkets in Spain, I think 2 supermarkets have had to close their doors. In the area of Asturias in the north of the country, Lidl, I think, was forced to close 2 stores because they couldn't get anything, they couldn't get food on the shelves, let's say. So closed the doors there. So hopefully that is something that is not going to be repeated throughout Spain. Let's hope. Hopefully it won't. Now, as I said, I'm on my way today to get some fuel, because that's something that's been popping up in the press recently, that maybe fuel supplies will be affected. Hopefully that's not going to be the case, but we already have expensive prices, and if fuel supplies are disrupted, it's going to be terrible for the running of this country and another huge problem for the government. As I said a minute ago, the government really refusing to recognize that there is a strike going on, because the main negotiating parties are not sitting down at the table with the government. They are transport workers. The government's saying that they are far-right radicals that are bringing the country to its knees and the demands are not reasonable. The government, I think, has offered something like 500 million euros in subsidies, in fuel subsidies for these workers. But according to them, it's not enough. And we saw yesterday that some of the main transport worker unions are also going to go on strike if things don't improve quickly. So the Sanchez government on its knees at the moment. Now, something caught my attention today, and it is the English version of the newspaper El Pais. And I was looking for some news on this strike, and there was nothing to be found. In fact, they don't seem to be updating the English version of El Pais. Now, I don't know whether it's because they don't want to talk about these problems, or perhaps they're concentrated on the Russia-Ukraine situation, but no news on the transport strikes whatsoever in El Pais English edition. So if anybody knows what's going on with that newspaper, or the English version of the newspaper, let me know, because I was surprised not to see anything there. In fact, there haven't been any updates for the last 7 or 8 days. So is El Pais going to stop the English version? Don't know. Time will tell. Hopefully that is not the case. Now we've got a truck up ahead, El Pozo, which is a meat company, I think, and obviously going to fill up the truck, so that truck's getting through. But I did hear this morning on the highway a lot of trucks beeping their horns, so I don't know whether they were trying to interrupt the traffic in this part of Spain this morning. I know that that has been occurring in some other places around the country. I think in some of the smaller cities, transport workers have brought smaller cities and towns to a halt, but Madrid's still running more or less as normal when it comes to circulation of cars and things like that. So nothing to worry about just yet. But the government has also said that they're going to try to act by the end of the month or maybe the beginning of April, and we'll see if the transport workers accept the new conditions that the government is going to put on the table. Basically, they want direct tax reductions on the price of fuel, so slashing VAT, slashing other fuel taxes. That's what they want, and that's what the government is not willing to do. So we'll see if this stalemate breaks. Now, the other big news at the moment is the Spanish government's backflip on the Western Sahara region, now supporting Morocco in that area. And that was the cause of tension last year, as we know. The Western Sahara region led to Morocco opening its borders, creating an immigration crisis here in Spain, or a migrant crisis, with 10,000 people or so crossing the border, because Morocco basically opened the border up and allowed people to cross. And the Spanish government has decided that it's going to support Morocco's position on the West Sahara region rather than the Algerian side of the conflict, because as we know, Morocco and Algeria tensions because of that area. So that was a backflip by the government, and the coalition government here, the Podemos side of the government, also not happy that Pedro Sanchez has changed his opinion on this. So we'll see also how that one pans out over the next couple of weeks or so. But interesting there. And we also saw that one of the big problems is that if you get Algeria offside, because Spain is dependent 40% for their gas needs on Algeria, obviously the times we're living, you don't want to get your gas suppliers offside. And that's one of the problems that the government also has. So how do you keep both Morocco and Algeria happy? That's the question. Now I'm coming up to the fuel station here. 180.9 for diesel, 183.9 for unleaded. So I'm going to go in here and get some fuel. Nobody here, which is good. So I'll fill up today, because as I said, just in case. So I've got the fuel, no problems there, filled up. 47 euros because I wasn't on empty, so not too bad. And I asked the guy if they have supply problems. He said no, they filled up their tanks yesterday, so they've got enough for 4 days. After that, he doesn't know what's going to happen, and he says that I was the 5th or 6th person in the last hour to ask him the same question. So that's where we're at the moment. The press reporting these things, people asking the questions. So that's the situation where we're at. Now a quick update on the indoor mask mandate. Not sure what's going on there. The Prime Minister spoke about it a few weeks ago, said that they were contemplating removing that indoor mask mandate, but haven't heard anything since. And the virus situation in this country not improving. The numbers are going up again. So I don't know whether that's a European problem or whether it's a problem here in Spain only, but those case numbers are increasing again. So maybe that indoor mask mandate or the removal of that mandate has been put on the back burner again. Don't know, but nothing in the press at the moment regarding that. Now I'm heading to the same supermarket that I went to last week, and I'll check out if there's any differences with the amount of things on the shelves, whether there are products like salt back on the shelves, whether there are more lentils on the shelves, flour, things like that. And I'll also check out the milk situation, because that's the big worry for a lot of people, the milk supply. So we'll check that out, and we'll also see what people are doing when it comes to their shopping habits, whether they are stocking up on some of those products still or not. We'll see, because as we know, panic buying has crept in a little bit over the last couple of weeks. So we'll see where we're at regarding panic buying and supplies on shelves. So I'll start to wrap this part of the video up, and I'll give you a brief update when I come out of the supermarket, similar to what I did last week, and you'll get a first-hand view, or a first-hand point of view on what's going on regarding Spanish supermarkets at the moment. So I'll be back. Yes, as we can see, no milk at all. No milk on the shelves. Plenty of fruit and veg. Plenty of potatoes. Plenty of fresh stuff. Plenty of bread. No flour at all. Lentils in short supply. Pasta empty. Still problems when it comes to oil. No sunflower oil at all. And still very limited amounts of salt. Still plenty of beer, no shortages here. Still plenty of toilet paper. Okay, so that's the shopping done and dusted. No problems getting what I needed. There were plenty of things on the shelves, plenty of fresh produce, plenty of meat, plenty of chicken, plenty of fruit and veg, plenty of things like that. No problems with toilet paper, but there wasn't any milk. As we saw, those shelves are completely empty. Now, I imagine it's only a question of time if companies like Danone stop producing, that we don't have any yogurts or yogurt left on the shelves either over the next couple of days. The things that were missing last week, for example, oil, canola oil hasn't been replaced, obviously can't get any of that, and still no salt available, only very limited salt supplies, no pasta at all, so things are starting to leave the shelves here in Spain. But as I said, the good news is there's still plenty of fresh produce available, and hopefully that will last, and the truckers' strike will come to an end soon. On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in that section below. Debate the video out as you normally do. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Let us know what your local supermarkets are like, whether you're here in Spain or around the world. Let us know. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.